This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Please remember to use my code KNIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Before going into the video, please take a second to click that like button, and we're on the road to getting 9,000 subscribers to this channel, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for all of your support, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content I put out in this channel. In today's video, I'll be showcasing Sandy Shocks EX from the Paradox Rift expansion set. We'll be utilizing Sandy Shocks EX as a support thanks to its ability, Magnetic Absorption. You can only use this ability if your opponent has 4 or fewer prize cards remaining. Once during your turn, you may attach one basic fighting energy from your discard pile onto this Pokemon. Although you have to wait before you can start using its ability, it's okay because that's actually the time when we'll be utilizing it to stack a lot of energies onto our board. And because Sandy Shocks EX is an ancient Pokemon, you can also use Professor Sada's Vitality so that you can accelerate one basic energy from the discard pile onto it. We'll be pairing Sandy Shocks EX with this WHISCASH, more for its attack, raging, and rocking. Starting with just one fighting energy, for each fighting energy attached to this Pokemon, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So the main strategy for this build will be to mill our opponent's cards until they deck out. So how will this work? Well, first you'll need to set up one copy of Barboach in your discard pile, and this will evolve into WHISCASH later on. Then you'll need to set up Hisuian Arcanine V on your bench. You'll be using this mostly for its Irresistible Force ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a fighting energy from one of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. Late game, you'll be transferring the energies that Sandy Shocks EX accelerates onto itself to this Pokemon. And along with this ability, you'll want to start attaching basic fighting energy onto this Pokemon and also the reversal energies. While it only counts as one colorless energy when attached to Hisuian Arcanine V, when you're behind on prizes, it will become 3 energies of any type once you evolve into WHISCASH. And how do you do this? Well, when you're ready, you can use Thornton to switch one of your basic Pokemon in play with another basic Pokemon in your discard pile. So once you've transferred as much energy as you can on Hisuian Arcanine V, you can then switch it with your Barboach from your discard pile. After you do this, you should be able to evolve into your WHISCASH. With enough energy stacked, you then just discard a lot of cards from your opponent's deck. There is that danger, of course, of your opponent just bossing your Hisuian Arcanine V and knocking it out. So to prevent this, I have a full set of Diancie in this build. It has the ability Princess's Curtain, which nullifies any effect of a support card your opponent uses against your benched basic Pokemon, as long as this Diancie is in your active spot. That means your opponent's boss's orders will not work when they target your benched basic Pokemon. And you can also use its attack Spike Draw to help you draw 2 extra cards. But mostly we'll be using Rotom V to help us draw cards constantly, thanks to its instant charge ability. While it ends your turn, you can simply draw 3 cards. As for the other cards worth noting, for an effective blocker to deal with those obnoxiously strong EX and V Pokemon, I also have a copy of Mimikyu with a Safeguard ability which nullifies any attack damage done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX or Pokemon V. And for added disruption, I also have Misfortune Sisters, which allows you to look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, and if any of them are item cards, you may discard any number of those item cards. To increase the survivability of our Pokemon, I have included a copy of Luxurious Cape, and I also have Bravery Charm to add 50 HP to one of our basic Pokemon. It is worth noting that you can also attack with Sandy Shocks EX when needed. It has the Earthen Spike attack. For 2 fighting and 1 colorless energy, it deals 200 damage, but it cannot attack on your next turn. And of course, Hisuian Arcanine V also has the attack Rock Bullet. For 4 colorless energy, it deals 90 plus damage and 30 more damage for each fighting energy attached to this Pokemon. This build is actually really sneaky. If your opponent is not careful, you can easily deck them out. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Sandy Shocks EX. Alright, on to our first match. We are going first, and both players actually had to take mulligan here. And we are going against a Gholdengo EX. Very nice. We're going to start with a Diancie in the active spot. Sandy Shocks EX on our bench, just to be sure we don't get donked. And my opponent's going to take a few more mulligans here, which is okay with me. I will take these. And a Battle VIP Pass. Alright, very nice. Can set up more basic Pokemon on our bench. And another one from our top deck. I will take it. For now, I'm just going to get Barboach and another Diancie. And with that other Battle VIP Pass, I will definitely get Hisuian Arcanine V and a Rotom V to help us draw extra cards, even on our very first turn. I'm just going to start energizing my Arcanine. And I'm going to use up these item cards. our Gutsy Pickaxe and a bunch of trekking shoes. I will discard Iono to draw an extra card. And I will keep Luminian V. And to end my turn, I'm going to use Instant Charge to draw 3. Alright, very nice. Very nice set of cards going into our next turn. And we can use Misfortune Sisters even to hopefully discard some important item cards from my opponent's top deck. But they're going to use Iono. Alright, that's going to reshuffle all of our cards to the bottom of our deck. Draw 6. Bunch of energies, which is nice. And WHISCASH is also great to have in our hand, of course. And what you really want to do is have at least 2 Diancies in your board, because if they use Escape Rope, you can always have one to switch into your active, and they won't be able to boss any of your other important cards on your bench. And you really want to keep this Hisuian Arcanine safe in your bench. So they're going to be able to use the TM evolution to evolve into 1, or actually 2 of their Pokemon. 1 Sizer and 1 Gholdengo EX. And that's alright with me. With this Trekking Shoe, we got an Ultra Ball. I could actually use this in case my opponent doesn't knock out my Barboach. We could just discard one later on, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to use Pokestop for now. Alright, we got rid of a Thorn. That could be very important, actually. I'm just going to Instant Charge here because I don't want to lose any of these other cards. Got a Reversal Energy. Alright, I will take it. And what's nice about this matchup actually is that Gholdengo EX really likes to draw a lot of cards. And what you want to pay attention with our strategy especially is to count how many cards you're building up on your Hisuian Arcanine, because once your opponent depletes their deck to the point where you can discard all of them, that's when you kind of come in for that instant mill to deck out your opponent. So just kind of pay attention to that. And of course, you want to try and intimidate your opponent so that they can take knockouts, because this Reversal Energy will not take into effect if they are not ahead in the prize. So they're going to take a knockout against our Diancie, and that actually puts us behind, and that actually activates Reversal Energy once we evolve into our WHISCASH. So let's go ahead and just discard these energies. We can recover them using our Sandy Shocks EX later on. For now, I'm going to get Luminian V just to have it in my hand so that I can get Thorn when I need it. And we got an energy from this Gutsy Pickaxe actually. So I'm just going to continue to draw. And I'm going to use Pokestop. See where this gets us. Oh no! We actually discarded our Luxurious Cape and another Hisuian Arcanine. But that's okay. I'm going to use Arven just to get Gutsy Pickaxe and Bravery Charm. It's going to actually help us to increase Rotom V's HP a little bit. But I can put it on Sandy Shocks EX just to keep it alive, I guess. Because even if they get ahead in the price exchange, that should be fine. We got a Barboach from that Gutsy Pickaxe, which is actually really great. But for now, I'm just going to use Instant Charge to end my turn. So right now, the battle here is basically mental. Because we're trying to just intimidate our opponent into thinking that Hisuian Arcanine is going to attack for a lot of damage. And we just want them to be aggressive and draw as much cards as they can. And even if they knock out a lot of our Pokemon, as long as they don't win, you know, it's fine. What we're trying to do is just build up as much energies on our Hisuian Arcanine. And what we want to do is get that Thornton and be able to switch out into a Barboach, evolve into a WHISCASH, and just deck them out instantly. So right now we have 6, 7, 8. We can mill 8 of their cards, and it's not going to be enough to win this one just yet. So we have to still stall a little bit here and maybe cause some intimidation. So I think what I'm gonna try and do, since we are now behind 2 prizes, my opponent has 4 or less, we can actually use Sandy Shock's E-Axis ability to accelerate 1 basic energy from the discard pile onto it. And I'm gonna start setting up the Barboach on our discard pile, and I can use Professor Sada's Vitality to accelerate, and then we can attack with this Sandy Shocks and deal 200 damage. Not quite a knockout, but we don't really want to do that. So we have a 2-fold win condition here. We can either knock out our opponent's Pokemon, but what we're trying to do is actually let them draw into extra cards. Because now with Sandy Shocks having 270 HP, that will actually force my opponent to continue to draw so that they can gather up all of those energies on their hand so that they can hit for a lot of damage against our Sandy Shocks to get a knockout, getting them 2 prizes. And of course, try to set up for the next turn, because looking ahead, they're looking at our Hisuian Arcanine V as a threat as well. So of course they want to build up as much energy as they can so that they can take a knockout against that. Or even our Rotom V if they have a boss's orders. And actually that's what they're going to do, is to target our Rotom V. An easy knockout, and they're gonna go for Sizer actually. But you know what? That actually preserves all the energy on our Sandy Shocks EX. They will get 2 prizes for this, but you know what? We will get to showcase our WHISCASH combo. Alright, here it is, guys. So I'm just gonna use Irresistible Force. This is basically the principle of it, right? So right now we have 6 plus 5, that's 11. 11 cards that we can discard, and then what we want to do is make sure we have a Barboach on our discard pile. Use Thornton to switch out Hisuian Arcanine, and then we can evolve it into WHISCASH and use Raging and Rocking to deck out my opponent in an instant. Alright, on to our next match. My opponent actually opted to go first this time, and we're going to start with a Diancie in the active spot. And like I said, having a full set in the deck, for the most part, you will have one in your opening hand. At least we can use Battle VIP Pass on our very first turn, even though we're going second. And my opponent has Tinkatink. This is going to be a Tinkaton. I mean, there is an EX and also a regular Tinkaton, so I'm not sure which one this is. But they do have a Rotom V. If I had to guess, this is the one that stacks a lot of cards in their hand to hit for a lot of damage. They also have Radiant Jirachi. They can get 3 cards, whatever they want from the deck, if we knock it out. But we're not going to knock it out, so that's fine. Alright, they're just going to end their turn with Rotom V. We got a Trekking Shoes from our top deck. And I'm going to set up 2 more basic Pokemon with this Battle VIP Pass. And I think I'm going to go with Barboach and a Rotom V, because we only have 1 Barboach. It could be a problem finding this Barboach to put in the discard pile, so just going to set it up. I'm going to keep this Ultra Ball, and I can discard this energy. And another Diancie. Okay, this is great. Alright, having 2 Diancies in your board is important, as I always say, in case my opponent has an escape rope. I could attach an energy, maybe in the active, but they have the potential to evolve into a Tinkaton, just knock it out. So I'll just attach it to my benched Diancie and then instant charge for 3 to end my turn. So we have Trekking Shoes to use on our next turn, and Arven could be very useful as well. But let's see how my opponent sets up on their turn here. Will they be able to attack on their second turn? Do they have a Rare Candy and a Tinkaton? Alright, they're just gonna evolve into a Tinkaton. Nest Ball for another Tinkatink. And they're slowly but surely charging up their attacker. And yeah, with the strategy of this build, you basically just want to be patient and just have your opponent draw as much as they can, set up, whatever. And you basically will just charge with that mill to win the game. Alright, we got a Gutsy Pickaxe. We can use that later, but I'm gonna get a Bell VIP Pass just as a fodder so I can use my Ultra Ball, and I think I'm gonna go with Luxurious Cape. I think I'll need that for this matchup anyways, so I could even fodder that as well. But I could use Professor Sada, so I think I'll just sacrifice Iono, because I don't really need Iono, because I want my opponent to keep drawing extra cards anyways. And I'm gonna set up my Hisuian Arcanine V now, and I'll just use Trekking Shoes. Pokestop is good. Okay, we can use that. And then Gutsy Pickaxe. Alright, we got an energy. Okay, cool. We can attach that to our Arcanine. Use this Pokestop. See what item cards we can get here. Alright, we didn't get anything. We discarded an energy, Hisuian Arcanine V, and a Braver Charm. So, then my turn with an instant charge. Draw 3 extra cards. Got a Misfortune Sisters. Hopefully that's gonna help us to discard more of our opponent's cards on our next turn. And yeah, applying the pressure on your opponent is one of the key components to the strategy here, right? So Misfortune Sisters applies pressure to your opponent when you discard a lot of item cards. And if you need to, because you need to be behind in prizes so that you can activate the reversal energies, you can attack with Hisuian Arcanine and also Sandy Shocks EX if you need to. So just always keep that in mind. Alright, so my opponent is going down to 27 cards in their deck. At this point, they can actually just one-hit knock out anything, so that's fine. Alright, they have a Forest Seal Stone. They can use that. Use up the V-Star marker and get any one card from their deck. They could get a boss, but thanks to our Diancie, they can't really boss any of our Pokemon. But they're gonna go for a rare candy to evolve into a regular Tinkaton. Alright, gather materials. This is the one that discards 1 card from your hand and then draw 3. So that's fine. We want our opponent to be aggressive in their draw anyways. They can stack a lot of damage. That's fine. But what we want to try and do is stack a lot more energies onto our Pokemon. They're just going to instant charge. Okay. So they're down to 20. That's fine. Gutsy Pickaxe gets us another energy onto our Hisuian Arcanine, which is great. I'm just going to use Irresistible Force to just transfer this energy from our bench Diancie so that we don't let it go to waste. And just going to use Pokestop. Unfortunately, we discarded a Sandy Shocks EX. And we have 3 energies. Go ahead and use Misfortune Sisters. We only got 1. Alright, Battle VIP Pass, and my opponent doesn't even need that. Just helping them kind of clean up a little bit. But that's fine. We're going to be patient. Instant charge for 3. Alright, we got a Sandy Shocks EX. That's great. So, the unfortunate thing with Sandy Shocks EX's ability is that your opponent has to have 4 or less prize card remaining for you to use that ability. But that's fine. That's why applying pressure to your opponent for them to get knockouts is actually really important. And irregardless, they will be knocking out your Diancies anyways, so should be okay. Alright, they also have Zoroark, and that will transform into Milotic, the one that prevents any effects of support cards from affecting their bench. Okay, they're gonna use Lost Vacuum, and they're gonna get rid of Pokestop. Okay, they're down to 13 cards in their deck, so hopefully this will make it a lot easier for us to discard their deck. But we need to find those reversal energies. We haven't drawn into one. 310 damage with 11 cards in their hand. Alright. That's okay. We're not worried about them knocking us out because we have our Diancie. So we'll just continue to keep this lineup. Sandy Shock's EX will come into play soon, but putting it into play actually allows us to play Professor Sada's Vitality to accelerate an energy onto it, and we actually drew into a reversal energy, which will take into effect very, very soon. But we will need our Thornton to switch out a Barboach, and we still need a Barboach onto our discard pile. So let me go ahead and play Pokestop, but I'll just instant charge for now. Alright, so we still need to get this Barboach into the discard pile. I could use a Thornton to switch out Barboach with one of our other Pokemon in the discard pile. Alright, they're gonna use Avery. That actually helps us out. So let's go ahead and discard this Barboach. And we have already a lot of cards in our hand. I feel like just discarding Rotom V. And so I want to keep my Diancie on the bench in case they have an escape rope. Then of course, Sandy Shock's EX to help us to accelerate more energies from our discard pile onto it, so that we can stack more energies. And then for Hisuian Arcanine V to absorb them. So for now, with so many cards drawn, my opponent has 9 cards left in their deck. We could actually finish this off now, but there's no guarantee, so I'll just pivot into Diancie for now. And then let's see here. We have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, we can accelerate 1 energy. Then Sandy Shocks can Magnetic Absorption 1. So 3, 6, 9. We can actually... Oh no, we can't, because we need Thornton. We need Thornton to transform. Transform our Hisuian Arcanine V into Barboach. So we have to draw. We have 6 cards left. Can we draw into our Thornton is the question. Let me just use Irresistible Force to transfer these cards, and then we should be good to go. All I need to do is attach an energy to Diancie and then retreat, but I can't use support card this turn anymore, so I'll have to wait until next turn. What's dangerous is if my opponent has an escape rope, though. That's going to be very dangerous. And they could just escape rope boss. Let's see what we got here. What? We don't have... Oh, what? One of our Thornton is prized. Oh, man. Okay. I might have to use Palpad here to recover this one. And I'll just get Professor Sada's Vitality, I guess. Alright, hopefully we drew into it. That's gonna be the thing, because 8 cards is a lot of cards. Can we draw into... And I don't want to use Pokestop too, because if we do that, we might discard it. That's not good. Dude! We got a Thornton with a trekking shoes. That's awesome. Alright, I'll just put an energy to Diancie, and then just put a little bit of a playful damage here to this Tinkaton, dealing 20 damage and drawing 2 extra cards. Okay. Diancie could have actually gotten us a Thornton, but there was no guarantee. But thanks to that trekking shoes, we got it. So that means my opponent cannot boss unless they have an escape rope. Alright, that's not a boss. So that is a-okay with me. They're going to just take back their Rotom V back to their hand. And they're going to go for a Tinkatink. So they're probably trying to think that they that could be a big liability since we are using fighting type Pokemon. But you know what? With so little cards left in my opponent's deck, that's gonna be game. Unbeknownst to my opponents, they will lose this turn. So we will just put our Hisuian Arcanine in our active spot. And I'm just gonna demonstrate again. Use our Magnetic Absorption. And then with all of these reversal energies, absorbing all of these fighting energies onto Hisuian Arcanine, we can use Thornton to switch out Barboach into the active. Then with the Whiscash in our hand, we can evolve and then use Raging and Rocking to deck out my opponent just like that. Good game. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.